Welcome to the Metaphysical Manifesting Podcast with intuitive lightworker, national speaker, metaphysical teacher, and best-selling author Lisa Kessler. What is it you want to manifest? Are you looking to increase your income, change careers? Maybe you want to manifest a new home or a new car. Are you ready to bring love into your life? You have come to the right place.
Hello, everyone. I'm so glad you're here today. You are in for such a treat. Marie Diamond is with us today, and she's an award-winning speaker and an internationally recognized leader and author in the field of the law of attraction, which we talk about all the time on this podcast. But she's also an expert in Feng Shui, dowsing, mediation, and shifting and clearing of energy. And she is world renowned in Feng Shui and energy master. And anyway, she was part of The Secret. If you've seen that movie, she's recognized around the world as a business and spiritual mentor to celebrities, CEOs, and top entrepreneurs worldwide. More than 1 million people have studied online and in person with Marie. She's one of the top speakers and authors in Mind Valley, if you have checked that out. If you haven't, it's worth looking into. Also, she has more than 40 online programs and a successful Feng Shui and meditation application. And Marie has been knighted for her humanitarian service. So she's officially a Dom, or is it Dame?
A dame.
Dame? Okay, a dame. She's officially Dame Marie Diamond. And you can learn more about her and her books on her website, mariediamond.com. And I did put a link to her website right there in the show notes. So while you're listening today, you can click that anytime and find out all about her. And she has so much great content over there, you guys. I wanted to share, I was mentioning it before we started, but Marie has all these videos and things on her website, and one of which was that you should have orchids on your dining room table because they attract abundance. And my friends, I'm here to tell you that it works. 3 weeks ago, I got one and put it on my table, and we have had all kinds of surprise abundance happening. So thank you, Marie.
Of course, with pleasure. I'm looking forward to hear more about all your steps you're going to take.
Yeah. Well, can you tell us your book that I was poking around with, Your Home is a Vision Board? You want to tell everybody about it and what they can expect if they grab a copy?
Yeah, of course. So, as you know, I'm one of the master teachers and stars in The Secret. And so where we're talking also about vision boards, right? And that's kind of what launched the whole movement of people making vision boards and dream boards. And so what I always say to people, like, this is great. You put your goals and your manifestations on paper and you make video, visuals on it, and you write your goals on it. But what a lot of people don't get is that this helps your subconscious mind to focus. But what a lot of people forget is that we are subconsciously affected constantly by your environment. Mm-hmm. And so one day, to explain people how Feng Shui works, how the energy of your home works, is I said one day, your home is a vision board. And that kind of resonated so much with my students. They're like, oh my God, it finally makes sense. That it's not just something you put on paper, but in a three-dimensional way. You're also connecting. If you, for example, have all images up of single people, you're actually telling your subconscious, I'm okay by being single. If you create chaos around you, like, I'm okay with chaos in my mind and chaos in my life and chaos in my finances. So whatever is around you is affecting you 24 hours a day, sleep, whatever it is, whatever you do in every place you are in. And, we kind of make our environment because we reflect out literally what we want, but then we put things out and then it's like, is that still you? Because whatever is around you is reflecting back in. Also, what you have placed there, perhaps you put something there that made sense when you moved in. But now you're like in a different person or a different direction you want to go in life. And that's, for example, for your office, your workspace, you set something up and like, is this still me? Right? And so you need to not just create a vision board, write your goals, but your environment needs to reflect these goals and your vision for your life also in a three-dimensional way. So that is where we're actually teaching people to go step by step to create your home as a vision board.
Oh, I love that. And, I do manifestation coaching, and we always talk about that you are the architect, and the universe is like the builder, and it's willing to build you something even better than you asked for. But I think thinking of your house as a vision board is a great way to keep present in your mind what you're doing, because it's one thing to the beginning of the year write down your goals for the year, but if you never look at them again, how do you expect your energy to be going toward that, right?
Correct, because the universe hears it one time, right? And so, but you have to keep looking at it. But for example, even if you make a vision board, where do you place that vision board? I mean, some people are I've seen them in bathrooms, I've seen them in toilets, I've seen them in closets hidden. I'm like, you are the universe. So if you're not seeing them constantly, so could be that you hang it above your headboard, like before you go to sleep, you see it, right? Or you put it somewhere in your office that you can see it. But we're going a little bit further with Feng Shui. So in Feng Shui, that is an energy system that is from the Asian origin, that's about 4,000 years old. They start understanding that based on your birthday and your birth gender, there is a calculation that can be made that we call it finding your energy number. And then based on that, you can see what are the directions, the compass directions, where your flow is the strongest. And so that is why people can download my free Mary Diamond app. So they put in Mary Diamond, they can download it. And so what you have there, you will receive after you put all this information in, you will put in actually, like I said, your birthday, your birth channel, you will get a compass. Yeah.
Oh,
and
nice.
So based on your compass, there is a success direction. And that's for the rest of your life. I just like connect with your birthday. So my success direction is southwest. Yeah. So in my southwest, and actually you can see it, Lisa, because we're visual together here.
Yeah.
So we're on video. You actually see there all my awards, all my books, all my programs represented. Yeah. So each time I come into my house and in my office space, it's like I see what I'm focused on. Yeah. So people can download the app and then they look where is their success direction. What is in your success direction gives you nonstop 24 hours a day. If you're there or you're not there. It's a quantum field, right? It's actually giving you a reflection, an energy around your success. So if you have your garbage bin there, right? I was talking to somebody and it's like, oh, every idea I have, every project is like, it's not happening. It's like, I do all this energy and I look at it, it's a garbage bin in her success direction. So literally everything goes down the drain, right? So, yeah. Or I had somebody there, a paper shredder, like everything shreds to paper, right? So, but if you have chaos there, if you have clutter there, you literally are saying, I'm blocking my own energy. Now we have seen that Feng Shui and the environment, the home space is responsible for 33% of the effect of your manifestation.
Wow.
I know, it's a lot. So when, for example, Rhonda Byrne, who created The Secret, right? She was calling me and was like, Marie, it's not working. The Secret is not working for me. She made a movie and she was like, nothing is happening. So I went in and she had all the wrong things around her. So I put the DVD, was at that time before there was a book, I put it out there in her success direction. I said, where do you want to be on? She said, I want to be on Oprah. And I said, let's get an Oprah picture and put it on, relationship direction because the relationship energy. I said, you want to be global? Let's put a globe there. Like you put symbols out so your subconscious mind gets it. Yeah. And like literally a year later, she was on Oprah. Yeah. And she went global. Right. So that's why people call me the secret behind the secret, because I was working with her to manifest
to
her,
help get it out.
the energy going. But because it's not just a mindset. Yeah. because your home can have a different mindset. You have created a different mindset with putting the wrong things around you, and it needs to be aligned. Yeah. So you can see that, Lisa, I have like Oscar statues out, right?
Uh-huh.
So, like literally, one of them is Best Producer. Why? Because I have a lot of Oscar-winning producers. I have one as actress because I have a lot of Oscar-winning clients that are actresses, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I remember putting this out in my success direction before The Secret came out, actually. And within a month, I had my first Oscar-winning client,
Wow. Oh
right?
my
So
gosh.
then I put 4 of them out, like 4 fake ones. Of course, they're not real, right? 4 fake ones. And then the week I put 4 out instead of 1, because for years I attracted clients that had 1 Oscar. And then I got 4 Oscars out. And a week later, I was in the house of Steven Spielberg.
Wow. Oh
And
my
he had
God.
4 Oscars at that time, right? So it was like, and I asked him, like, why did you not call me sooner? He said, well, I don't know. Your name is around our family for 4 years. We know people that worked with you, but it's only last week, Tuesday afternoon, we said we're going to do that. Now, guess what? Tuesday morning, I put the 4 Oscars out,
Wow. Oh my
right?
gosh.
So
Wow.
you need to align not just your mindset and your actions and your behavior. If you bring that in, and that is why, for example, putting that orchid on the table that
Right.
shows blossoming energy. But the more people do that, the more they focus on their personal energy. And that's what Your Home is a Vision Board, the book, is all about. It tells you all the steps you have to take based on your personal energy with the app. It teaches you how to work with the app. So what happens is then you start manifesting much easier, much faster, much more effortless, but also you add 33% of your return of investment on your manifestation. And
Yeah.
that is why people, love my work, because things that are blocked, they're like the mindset is blocked, and they say like, why is that not happening? Because they see around them sometimes the opposite of what they really want to manifest.
Right. Well, also, I was going to ask you, as far as homes go, a lot of times I feel like because of maybe social media and maybe even Hollywood and movies, we get the impression of what a nice home looks like. And I feel like a lot of times we aren't authentic in our home. It's not, we do it the way we think it's supposed to be, but it sounds like that's not doing you any favors, right? I mean, you put fake Oscars on there, and that's certainly not in, Architectural Digest.
Oh, totally not. Yes,
Yeah, but it was authentic to what you wanted to create,
correct.
right? That
Yeah,
important that you keep the energy authentic to you.
correct. Because a lot of people, I mean, I love interior design and
Right,
love beautiful interior designs, but sometimes people put a picture up that is very chaotic and doesn't have a meaning, right?
right.
And then I say, like, you put that in your relationship direction. So you want to attract a meaningful relationship. But if you, for example, would put 2 hearts out, and now with AI, we can design a lot of images ourselves and then,
Mhm.
print them out. And so you have to start thinking like, what are the energy that is out there? So I remember putting out my Oscar for best producer. And actually now I'm actually filming my own documentary and TV series. And I've been since then like 2 executive producers on movies and TV series. Now, when I put that out there, I had no idea I would ever do that. So the
Right.
universe is sometimes very surprising, right?
Yeah.
Coming back to me like, you put this out for 20 years. It's time to make this happen, right? And it was like, oh, okay, I can do that too. So it's all about, being more specific, yeah, because we know with the manifestation, if you just say, universe, I want a good day, the universe comes back and like, what is a good day for you?
Exactly. What is it for you? Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so good day for me is different than your good day, Lisa, right?
Right.
So, and it's for everybody else. So the same with the home, like I always say, like make it more personal and
Mhm.
and go through it like, what do I want to manifest for my health? What would that look like? Yeah. as a symbol, as a color. So this is how Feng Shui can then work based on your personal energy number. There are certain colors that actually work better for you than others. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So depending, like for me, red is like a color I can wear, but it's not like something I will wear every day because it's not
Right.
one of my best colors. Yeah.
Mhm.
Pink is, yeah. So you will see me wearing a lot of pink. Even my
Yeah.
nails will always be pink, my
Uh-huh.
but never red. Yeah. So
Uh-huh.
I would do not red lipstick, but I would do pink lipstick because one of my little experiences that I know works for me. And so once people know this information, they can like work on their brand, work on their, when they show up in their world, like in their home, like what are the colors that work for them better because they see a reflection of that color and a color is a frequency and
Yeah.
stands for something. Right?
Hmm.
So my first value is love. And so pink is actually the color of love. So I will use that and people subconsciously getting the messages. Yeah.
Right, right. Yeah. Oh, I love that. Well, what was your personal journey when you were discovering feng shui? Were you searching for something? I mean, what did it look like for you where you went, "Hey, this is the right energy for me."
Well, it was actually after a near-death experience I had when I was 15. I went, to a near-death experience when I had an accident with a truck. And so I, was already connected with a spiritual teacher since I was 7. I had an ascended master coming in when I was 7. And when I reconnected with him, I asked him, why did I attract this accident? What did I do wrong? And he said, oh, Marie, you have bad feng shui. Now, you have to understand, I'm from Belgium, Catholic family, never heard that word in my life.
Feng shui.
Right? I tried to find out, this is before Google, right? So I was trying to find this out in my local library if there was something about this topic, nothing, of course. And so he said to me, the place where you sleep is really attracting bad luck. And I had always nightmares in that room. I was very lonely. I had no friends. I was bullied severely at school. I was a good student. Yeah, but that was kind of it. Yeah. And so he said, I think you need to move to another room. So I moved to another room where there was more sunlight. I painted in my colors that I love, and that's orange. I love orange and
Okay.
white. Yeah. I started designing other images, like I was drawing images of love, of friends. Like I was like creating my first three-dimensional vision board. And within 2 weeks, I had my first boyfriend, who was a very good-looking guy. The bullies stopped bullying me within a few days. That was very
Wow.
interesting, right?
Mhm.
And so I started getting friends. It was like suddenly from being targeted at school, I became very popular, right? And my health improved because I was struggling after the accident with my brain and my focus. It was like suddenly I started feeling so much happier. And just the happiness factor was so different from before, the old space where I stayed in for 10 years. And I was like, if I look back, depressed,
Right.
And now suddenly I became very optimistic. And that was my first experience. And it took me a couple of years before I found out more about it. I was like 31 when I first had my book on feng shui in Dutch because I speak Dutch originally.
Mhm.
And it was like, and then I just went studying right away in Malaysia with a grandmaster, and I implemented it in my work. I was a lawyer from background, but I started teaching about meditation, manifestation, and ultimately I became a feng shui master that has now reached millions of people with her work. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Well, I love instances. I always call it like a wink from the universe, like moments where we see behind the curtain and we're like, oh, I see you, like you and your little Oscars. Do you have some instances that you can share where you moved something or shifted it? Or isn't feng shui too? There's some different corners of your house where you're supposed to put an envelope of money or something like that to attract things.
Well, there's two different kinds of feng shui. So it's like the American feng shui, and I actually practice is the original classical feng shui. So
Oh,
we
okay.
work really with the birthdays. So if you definitely have in your success direction like a pot of gold, like you literally find like a fake gold, of course, and you fill it with
Right.
all coins to the top, you're always saying, I have always enough money, right?
Right.
So there
Mhm.
could be an envelope if you want to do that. But I don't practice that kind of style of feng shui. We really go deeper
Okay.
into your personal, and also we look at time feng shui. So we, for example, every Chinese astrology year that is coming up, there's different things to activate. For example, this year we're in 2026, we need to place a bubbling fountain in the north area of your workspace to keep having constant new money flow coming in, right?
Oh,
So that's something that people can take away. And in the book, Your Home as a Vision Board, it tells about the time aspect and where to put always the fountain every year different and what are
oh,
the things to change. So that's part of it. But yeah, for me, I think it was, I remember I was living still in Belgium and I was like, you know what, it's time for me to move to a bigger country. I had reached already like the maximum I could have in my small country. But,
uh-huh.
you know, in my near-death experience, I received that I was here to enlighten more than 500 million people. So to
Wow.
reach that, I had to get out of Belgium, who only has 10 million inhabitants, right? I had to move. So
Yeah.
I really I had to go to the United States. And so I started putting everywhere in my home, like an American flag, or I found this replica of a boat of Columbus, the Santa Maria, that he got into North America. So I bought that replica. I would just, anything I could to represent America, I would put in my success direction, right?
Mhm.
So by saying that, I was saying to the universe, hey, I made that decision, but my home is making the decision with me. And literally within a year, I was speaking in America. I was going back and forth to America. And then ultimately I moved a few years later full time to live in America. So, but I use this all the time. Like I have a globe, right, in my relationship direction because I have students in more than 190 countries. But one day I was like, oh, I want to go to Russia, right? I want to speak in Russia. This is, more than 20 years ago.
Right.
And so I didn't find really something to represent it unless I found like a book to translate English to Russian, right? So I put this out there. I don't put it flat. I put it out so my eyes can see it somehow.
Yeah. Right.
But it also had other Slavic languages in it. Yeah. So I put it there and I didn't even think about it. And then 7 weeks later, I got a phone call to start speaking for a huge event in a Russian speaking country and organized by the government of that country. And they wanted me to come and speak for all their women. There were thousands of women present there. And then interesting enough, suddenly I start getting invited to speak in Poland and Czechia and Hungary, and they're all Slavic countries. And I was
Mhm.
like, why is that happening? And then I looked at the book, and it was not just translation from English to Russian, but it was like if you go traveling, like a travel translation book, right?
Right.
And all these other Slavic languages. And it was in my success direction. I was like, wow, that is so interesting, right?
That's cool.
So it is like these things that I've manifested. I put people in their celebrities, and suddenly, like years later, I'm like, oh, I got this celebrity client. I was like, it was on my vision board. It was in my success for so long, right?
Right. Right.
So I do that. Yeah.
Yeah, and I love that technique of like your Oscars. You didn't have people's names on there. You left it wide open because I mean, really, how many people would go, "Oh, I'm sure I'll be at Steven Spielberg's house." But the universe was like, "Well, you had four, so here,
Yeah,
right?"
well, I have now two producers that have four Oscars. So I leave them. They actually should add a fifth one. But I put on one in when I moved to America. I put actually a vision board, and I put on a little yellow post-it note on it. I'm going to be in a movie seen by millions of people that will transform the world. It was like a download I received.
Wow.
And that is how I got into The Secret. I was the most unknown person in The Secret. Nobody knew about me, but I still got in The Secret, right?
Yes.
So, and I also put my Oscar there, but I put in Marie Diamond on that. You can put your name on it, but I did not know as an actress or a producer, but I would never have thought I would be in a movie, like
Yes.
as myself. Yeah. So I'm
Yes.
now in more than 20 transformational documentaries as myself, right? So one of them has the name Marie Diamond on it, just because I don't know in which format I will be part of. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You left that open and the
Yeah.
universe can fill in the blank. I just
Yeah.
love that.
Yeah.
I have to ask because you kept bringing up your birth date and the feng shui, but do you feel like astrology is kind of connected with that? Like your sign, does that play into the feng shui a little
Yeah,
bit?
it really does. So, but this calculation that we're talking about is nothing really to do with your Chinese astrology. And
Oh,
unless we see that there's a certain change with the Chinese New Year, right? So it doesn't start the 1st of January till the
right.
31st of December. So it uses the Chinese astrology year and the beginning and end of that to calculate it. But it's nothing originally first for Chinese astrology. Of course, in Feng Shui, we talk about Chinese astrology, like we're in the year of the fire horse. So we will activate other things, and you probably can see I have a little bit of a horse image out here in
Yes.
my, right? So for this year, having an image of a horse in the south area of your office or your living room will actually get you aligned with the horse year. Yeah.
Oh,
So, and you will create more income in the horse year when you put the astrology sign in the right place. Yeah. I'm a rabbit, so I have an image of a golden rabbit in the east because that's where the location of the rabbit should be. And I always have that there. And so to always create abundance for me as a rabbit. Yeah. So, I mean, you can play with this. So you can bring astrology in it, but you don't have to. Yeah.
okay. All right. Well, I have to ask because, we're metaphysical, but do you feel like perhaps in, a past iteration of yourself that you were involved, in Eastern philosophies, do you think? Because
Yeah, I
connected
do.
with, and you're Dutch. I mean, that just,
Yeah. So when I was before I knew Feng Shui, I always had dreams about past lives, and
Mhm.
I saw myself as a Tibetan monk many times. Yeah.
Wow.
So, and it was very interesting when later on I brought students with me to Nepal and to Tibet. When I came in one of the Tibetan monasteries, they honored me as a Tibetan Lama. And so, and I said, why? I said, yeah, because we knew you were coming and we checked out and we know you've been a Tibetan Lama. And they allowed me to teach the monks in the Tibetan monastery while
Wow.
the Tibetan Lama was from that monastery was teaching my students. So we did an exchange. And I was like, oh my God, this is real, right? So that was really
Yes.
beautiful. But when I started studying Feng Shui, and I was studying with my grandmaster in Malaysia, I'm telling you, it was so easy to understand Feng Shui. And I have a very mathematical background. So, and I'm a lawyer, so I'm very strategic but it was like very interesting. I was studying at the end of the day, I was teaching the other students what he had said because it was like so natural to me, right?
Yeah.
That I know that I have definitely worked perhaps under a feng shui master. I was definitely not a feng shui master before. I know that, but at least I've been very connected with the five element theory, the Chinese medicine. So I know I'm blonde, I have blue eyes, right? I'm from Europe and live in America, but I'm telling you for sure, it was so natural. It's such a given for me. And I can explain things so well. I'm a really good teacher in Feng Shui. And I mean, that's what my students tell me because I'm very good in explaining very complex information, very simple, very down to earth, very accessible for the Western intelligence. But I understand it. I mean, and from the moment I started working with it, I was like, oh, this is so easy for me. So I know that the easiness factor means for me that I studied this before.
Experience
Yeah,
before.
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you started working with the monks, did you walk in there and have a moment where you went, I'm home?
I did. Yeah, I did. Yeah, it was so interesting because, I came to the monastery and we had just scheduled a day with the monks, right? And so when I came in, I was like, oh, okay, I've been here, right? I have this information all the time when I go somewhere. And I'm like, oh, I know probably most of my important past lifetimes that I've encountered or saw visions of it. And then I go to these places and I know exactly where to go. Like, I'm like, or I say to my husband, oh, the next street left, that's the square. And then there's a cathedral there. And it's like, I just remember, my alignment is super strong on that level. And so, yeah, for me, living a metaphysical life is my life, Yeah.
Right. It feels second nature.
It is, yeah. And I grew up as a child to see energy, right? So I do believe most children now have the ability to see energy. But in my time, I was a very clairvoyant child. And so I would tell people if, this person will die or this is going on in that person's life. I mean, my parents grew up with that information from me. So yeah, for me, the metaphysical world is my life. Yeah.
Right. Well, do you think that when you started opening up with Feng Shui, did you immediately associate that with manifesting, or did that come from The Secret? How did you bring those two together?
So it's a good question because for me, I did not know the word law of attraction. Yeah.
Right.
So because that was not something that was out there at that moment when I started teaching, and I'm teaching this 32 years, right? So in Feng Shui, they would call it activating your good luck. Yeah. So my master would always say it's activating your good luck, your alignment.
Oh.
He would always talk about reflection, like whatever is around you will reflect back in you, right? And what you are reflect back in your environment. So I use the word reflection, right? But not really the law of attraction, right? So, but then when they asked me the question for the movie The Secret, I'm like, yeah, that is, good luck is attraction, right? So you increase your manifestation. But these words were not used so much at that time. And for like, I would say the last 15 years, last 20 years was like law of attraction. Now things shift to manifestation, right? People use the word manifestation all the time. And so I would say the wording is different, but the principles are the same.
Right. So you were able to bring the two together just because they were using like a different word, right?
It is, yeah. And so I already knew my Feng Shui master told me that there was 3 kinds of luck. So the first one is your spiritual luck. So it's like your karma, your dharma. When you come to this world, you already have some good luck and some not good luck happening to you, like where you're born, which family, what talents you have, what kind of circumstances you're born.
Which bedroom in.
Yeah, right. So I don't know, right, what is always a good luck of somebody, right? But you can activate that, he said, by doing spiritual work, by clearing your karma, you can activate your spiritual luck, right? Doing meditations, prayers, and so on, whatever it is for you and your tradition. The second part is your human luck, and your human luck is literally what we would call the self-help world, right? Psychology. So changing your mindset, changing your behavior, releasing traumas, changing your psychology about things. This is your human experience, right? So I would say from self-help to psychology, that's kind of that area. And then he said the last part is your environment, right? It's not just the people you're surrounding yourself with, that is like more your human luck, but literally where you are living, right? How that affects you. And so, and each one is 33.3%. So a lot of people have been focusing on their spiritual luck, amazing. Right? Some of them on their human luck, but a lot of people don't know their environmental luck, the earth luck, as we call that. And so
Oh,
once you work with that, it feels like you're grounding yourself, you're grounding your manifestation, and it's like your mindset will start shifting easier, and even also your karma will actually shift. Yeah.
yeah. Oh my gosh. Well, I could talk to you for hours, but I don't want to keep you all day. What do you have going on right now, like on your website, or are you going to speak somewhere? How can people connect with you? How do you want them to reach out?
Well, I think the best way for them is to follow me on Instagram, Marie Diamond Official. We have millions of views there, so beautiful videos that are there. You also will get, if you follow, get all the information of the next things we're doing. We actually have in August 4 manifestation books that are going to be launched. So yeah, so manifest success, money, love, and healing. So this will be a series that will be launched the 8th of August. So that will be amazing.
Oh,
And
congratulations.
yeah,
Can't wait.
thank you. Right. And then in October, we're launching another book called Beyond Your Wildest Dreams, where it's a compilation book of regular people and then some of my colleagues talking about how to live a life beyond their wildest dreams. And that is also coming into a movie and a TV series that regular people can sign up for that if they want to be part of a producer or being in the movie. Also still in the book, there are a few places left, I presume. And then so to really start people to dream again. Like I had big dreams as a child, right? So since I'm 15, I have this big dream to reach 500 million people. With The Secret, we have done that already.
Yeah.
Right. And like just alone last year, we did 30 million views on our social media. So, so we always think very much into the millions of reach and impacts. Yeah. So, because that is what I want to focus on. So we always have new products and new courses, certifications in Feng Shui and dowsing. And so if they follow me and on Instagram, or they are following me and getting the newsletter, signing up for the Diamond Scoop, they get always the latest information from me. And of course, download the app and you get information through the app.
Yeah. Yes. And I'll put a link to your Instagram in the show notes as well. So look for her website and her Instagram. The links are in the show notes, and definitely get connected because Marie has some beautiful energy, and I'm just, it has been so much fun chatting with you.
Thank you, Lisa. Well, thank you for what you bring to the world through your podcast. It's so beautiful. And I want to thank you for your contribution.
Oh, thank you so much. Thanks for being here. And thank you so much for listening, everyone.
Thanks for listening to the Metaphysical Manifesting Podcast with Lisa Kessler. If you have questions or comments, or if you'd like to work with Lisa to manifest your dreams, you can connect with her through her website at metaphysicalmanifesting.net. That's also where you can claim your free weekly tarot reading and manifesting tips. Make sure you subscribe or follow the Metaphysical Manifesting Podcast on your favorite podcasting site so you never miss another episode. As Lisa likes to say, we can make magic when we bring the universe into the equation. Remember, you don't have to do it alone. If you'd like more information about Lisa, Metaphysical Manifestation Mentorship, or the Manifesting Magic Mastermind, visit her website at metaphysicalmanifesting.net.